How should we introduce the podcast? What should it be called?
Okay, so this podcast is called Two Nerds with a lot of time to think about stupid things because we are afraid of growing up.
It's called The Things That We Think About Before Bed.
Things that we think about before bed.
So, I lie in my bed and I go, oh, Nintendo.
Sometimes I lie in my bed and I think, what if Sony didn't get backstabbed by Nintendo? What if Nintendo was like, yes, we will not over a very competent possible rival?
They won't go. Oh, the CDI sounds like a good idea.
Spaghetti. Squalla la, and we were all fucking like.
I'm sorry, Link, but I don't give credit.
Sorry. How about when you come back when you're a little richer? What if that was a hit? What if the kids love that? What if the CDI was a success?
Mommy, please, you have to get me Hotel Mario for Christmas.
They were actually making a sequel to Super Mario World called Super Mario Wacky Worlds, and it was very early in development before Nintendo was like, "What the f*** are you doing?" They're like, "What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What did you do to Link?" And it just shows a clip, just like squalla. It's just like, oh god. But it had a bunch of worlds and Mario would talk. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Future Hamlet. Am I wrong? Put this text right over my head. Am I wrong?
Yeah, well, once upon a time, imagine, put yourself here. You're at the Consumer Electronics Show 1990 or 1991. I don't remember which one.
Bill Clinton was elected a year later. I don't know.
Before the rapture.
Yeah.
You're Sony and you're about to make a presentation. You're about to introduce the entire world. You go up on stage and you go, we're partnering with Nintendo to create what we call the Sony PlayStation. Well, it'll be an add-on to the SNES and it'll play CDs and it's gonna be great. We're so excited!
And the crowd goes wild.
Woo!
And as they're ending it, they say $2.99 and everyone flips their
Imagine, also Consumer Electronics Show 1990 or 1991. One day later.
Sega's like, guys?
Nintendo. Nintendo is ready for their press conference. And they get up there and they say, remember yesterday when Sony said that they were working with us? LOL.
Never mind.
We're working with Philips. We're going to make a console called the CDI.
They really
Nothing bad is going to happen.
They really faxed them NVM. Sorry.
And then Sony was in the audience wondering...
What?
Because that's a fun fact. They didn't tell Sony.
Yeah, I know.
At all. They didn't tell Sony at all.
Yeah, Sony was just like, excuse the
The what?
The
what?
Philips, our greatest competitor? Why did they start working? Is there any reason why they switched to Philips?
I think Sony wanted too many rights.
God forbid they make a cent.
Sony was like, can we have $1, please?
And they're like, please, sir, I'd like some more. And they're like, get out of here! Make me a CD-ROM.
We don't need you.
Yeah. And then
Sony said, we don't need you.
Yeah, and now they are Sony's probably biggest rival.
Yeah, so Nintendo lost custody.
Yeah.
And
now imagine if they didn't smoke crack that day and they said, guys, we're still doing the Sony thing.
We're still gonna do the Sony thing.
That would have changed pop culture.
God, it's so
imagine Mario and Crash Bandicoot being like the face of the '90s for Nintendo.
Holy.
That's just crazy to think about. And then you also got to think about like the response to that because then Sega and Microsoft are gonna be like,
Well, okay, so my proposal is if we say that Sony and Nintendo made the Nintendo PlayStation.
Oh, that's a beautiful name.
It was a success.
Yeah.
The next console...
I don't think it would have been called the Nintendo PlayStation 2. I think it would have been something different.
Yeah, it would be something different.
Probably maybe 64.
But it wouldn't be as bad as like the Virtual Boy.
Wonder if they... And then... Well, do you think with Sony's technology they could have made it good? It's just food
I
for
think
thought.
the Virtual Boy
Was destined to fail.
I think it had promise, but they did it really badly.
Yeah.
I think if they had waited a couple more years, they could have done it way better. Because, that wasn't the first, like, it's not VR, but it's...
Yeah.
It
no,
wasn't the
no,
first...
Sock'em Box'em, bro. It's a future Hamlet. I'm making you do work.
Oh, Wikipedia article is in my future.
So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna show a clip of like the.
Yeah.
Look at that! Oh, he's hitting them. Hamlet, have you seen that? Oh my God!
Holy shit!
I'm just expecting the big text. I'm not editing this. I'm 100% expecting that. Lukey Dookie Pookie Bear is coming. You look like
Luke Jones.
Luke Jones.
Do you think if Sony and Nintendo had stayed partners, Sega and Microsoft would have become partners?
Oh, wow.
See, we're giving you the philosophical questions that keeps us up at night.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh God, he's dropping everything.
Yeah,
Don't drop your pants
he's
now.
breathing very heavily.
I don't want to go back on. Anyways,
But yeah, I like the idea because obviously you know that.
Well, like, what if that actually happened? Do you think Microsoft and Sega would have been like?
Well, they were going to a little later.
However, but it probably would have
But
happened
then
sooner.
Yeah, because they would have been like.
Imagine if it was like a bunch of things. It was Sega, Atari, Microsoft, and Apple working together to take down the behemoth that is Sega.
There's no
Sony.
one left for
That's
Atari
Sega.
to get.
Yes, Atari with their prized mascot, waka 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 waka.
It's not even there.
I know, but it's just so associated with them. It might as well be.
Yeah, but their version of it is so bad. Have you ever played it?
Yeah, my Atari. First of all, my Atari 2600 is a Star Wars is a Star Wars theme song. It's just all black, but it's fucking sick. I love it.
It doesn't have the wood grain?
No, but I kind of do wish it did. But at the same time, here, can you actually pull it up? Like Atari Star Wars, Atari 2600 Star Wars. It's really cool. Future Hamlet image.
Yeah. Hold on. I think it's just gonna be the game console.
Yeah. Cause yeah.
This one?
Yeah, it's that one.
This one.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's pretty cool.
I grew up with that one, and I always assumed it looked like that. So anytime I saw the one with the wood, I was like, ooh. I have like.
So the one that I have is called a heavy six. Well, it's called a sixer. I don't have a heavy sixer, but it was from before they called it the 2600. So it was called the Atari VCS Video Computer System.
That's really. Oh, are they rare?
They're more rare than the Atari 2600. But like, a normal Atari will fetch you like $100. This one will fetch you like $150. So it's not crazy. It's just a neat thing. But they had 6 switches because it's when they were made in America.
That's so cool.
Sunnyvale, California.
Do you know any history on the development of the Apple Pippin with Bandai?
I know a little bit. I read through a lot of the Wikipedia article, and I remember being like, I think I took like extensive notes because I was just enjoying myself.
No,
I want to make sure this is picking up.
It is so much fun.
Okay, that's enough.
It's so much fun to just read through it. Now I'm not into the console stuff as much as I used to be, but I still like I keep my tabs.
Yeah.
But you can ask Hamlet. I was very into it growing up. As a kid, it was my thing.
Oh yeah.
I have a bunch. I guess I'll send you a photo if you want.
But like, even when, because I've known Nick since I was 6 years old, and
I dated Lightning McQueen once.
I'm not explaining that.
Nope, it's between you and me and no one else.
Oh my God, what was I gonna say? But yeah, you were. Obviously, you're still a big Zelda fan, but you were insane in the membrane, and I was just like, no, I don't really know what's happening, but I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, I have my Nintendo Wii at home and I play on my Nintendo Wii.
Wow. So about the Zelda franchise, did you know that with the Wind Waker almost single-handedly killed the entire series?
But it's so good.
It is, but back
It's
then
so-
people were like, ew, it's for kids. No, God forbid something has style.
It has a very complex story.
Yeah. But,
I just don't understand.
the producer, Al Numa, he was so done with Zelda fans. He was like, you guys want something realistic? Go yourself. I'm leaving. And you know how Nintendo...
Oh, who's laughing now?
You know how Nintendo does this thing where it's just like, oh, we're not giving the fans what they want, so they aren't buying it. That means no one wants
That
it
means
anymore.
like Chibi Robo?
Yeah, they're like,
Like-
well, that's a different story. Chibi Robo's just everyone, including Nintendo. Yeah, no.
But what about the first one?
The first one's good.
The first one is good, and then they continue making a bunch of games. We're like, why is no one buying
Well-
the Walmart exclusive one?
Anyways, but like what I'm trying to get is like, you know, like F-Zero and Metroid and shit like that. Like that. Think about it. In another world, that could have been Zelda as well. Would you have traded Zelda for like one of those or no?
No.
Yeah.
Maybe Metroid.
But
I
Metroid's
don't
kind of
think-
coming back.
I'm glad Metroid's coming back. And,
Granted, Nintendo's head is hesitant. They're like, ooh. It's like, dude, it's
I
yours.
thought, did you play Metroid Dread? Because
Yes.
I really enjoyed
It's
Metroid
really good.
Dread. It's really good.
It was really good. I was actually really shocked. I was like, damn. Didn't they restart Metroid Prime 4 or some shit? Like they restarted for like development.
They're like, they're like, here you go, a remastering of Metroid Prime 1, and everyone's like,
Oh.
so does this mean? And they're like, Retro Studios making another Donkey Kong.
You know what I wish?
You want Tropical Freeze remastered?
You want to know what I
right?
consider? I consider this the greatest tragedy in video game in the entire video game industry. Nintendo not acquiring Rareware. That actually, that is such a tragedy. Like, Microsoft,
I have nightmares about it.
in a perfect world, Rareware.
It was so close.
They basically owned them, but then Microsoft was like, nope.
It's like, oh, we'll give you $2 more, and Nintendo was like, it'll be fine. It wasn't fine.
And now they don't even make Kinect games anymore. Microsoft's just sitting on their IPs like, I'm not gonna do anything with this.
What would they do with Kinect?
I don't know, man.
What would they do with Kinect?
No, but you want to hear something interesting though?
God, it's like I was at a yard sale recently, and obviously I'm looking for some scraps of video games because
Did they have the Kinect there?
it's like 5 copies of Kinect Adventures.
I played Kinect Adventure when it first came out, and now my brother was in middle school at the time. To him and everyone else there, it was the coolest ever.
I played it when it was newer too.
Now, but when I remember I played it, and I just remember being like, this is.
Wow, worse Wii Sports.
But Wii Sports isn't even bad. It's great. Wii Sports is amazing.
No, I love Wii Sports. It's just like they thought that it was about it being mini games.
No,
but
it's about what you do with the controls.
Although I will say the closest that Nintendo has gotten to replicating.
Isn't it
the
like
sort of
Switch
phenomena-
sports?
I don't. Switch Sports sucks.
Really? I never tried it.
It's the bowling's good, but have you seen the Sports Mates?
No.
It's why do they hate Mii's now? Why do they hate? Mii's are so recognizable. They're just such a good brand. Why do they hate?
In a weird way, the Mii's for a while were kind of like Nintendo's mascot during the Wii era, and it's crazy
and
because
they were a great mascot.
and the crazy thing is, it's like it wasn't the mascot was you in a way, which I think made it personal in a very weird sense. But then they came out with the Wii U and totally f***ed everything up.
I guess the only reason that they're trying to get away from Mii's is because Wii U bad.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, I was gonna say how I think Nintendo Land was a really good evolution package.
No, Nintendo Land is great.
I love Nintendo Land.
It's really good.
I'm a Nintendo Land enjoyer.
Yeah, I remember my uncle got my Wii U on launch date. He went out there as it came out,
The black one or the white one?
black. Wow, listen, now, even though it's hated, it was such a special time
It's a
for
really
me.
good console. It's just got some.
It just has Nintendo just hiccuped on everything.
Yeah.
It's on Nintendo, not the. I want to go to the Wii U and be like, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's not your. It's like you tried your best.
It's not your fault, man. It's not your fault. You were marketed horribly, man.
Yeah. And then the Switch, they just went 180 on that. Took all the best features of the Wii U, like specifically the gamepad, really,
Yeah.
and just made it its own. Like this, I'll never forget when the Switch came out. That was such a fun time to be a Nintendo fan, because it was like, think about it. For the past like
when Mario Odyssey was new, there was just so much going on. Breath of the Wild had just
talking
come
about
out,
it gives me goosebumps.
and it's like, I remember because like I didn't get a Switch until like a year and a half later because I'm a poor.
Yeah. Food stamps, welfare.
Yeah, I got it like a year and a half or so later because I got it on Christmas like a year later. And I got Mario Odyssey, Luigi's Mansion, and Mario Maker. And it was so like, it was really magical. And
It was. Like, I got it the day it released. I don't know how we did not pre-order it. We didn't do anything. We went to a Walmart about 5 miles out, and we were like, hey, can we have do you guys have a Switch in stock? They went back, came out with one, and I was like, holy shit. Like, and the guy.
how did you get like?
And the guy, and this dude, he was so tired. He was like, you want any games? And I was just like, I'm like, do you have Breath of the Wild? And he's just like, yeah. And then he went back there, got it, and he was like, that's about, I think it was like $200 or something. It was
No,
like,
it would be $300 for the console, and then.
yeah, and remember I played it. Oh my god, bro. So like the Wii U was like the Great Depression, bro. what we experienced was
They were like, hey E3 2014, aren't you guys all excited for Lego City?
why is no one
clapping?
And then they comes tits swinging with Breath of the Wild, which is like the most innovative like fucking.
Swinging.
They come out with tits swinging with Breath of the Wild, which is the most innovative open world game ever.
Yeah.
Bro, talking about it gives me goosebumps because it's like it was such a fun time to be a Nintendo fan.
So like, did you play Breath of the Wild like as soon as
Like probably like 5 hours after everyone else, like the people who were virgins got it. I'm a half virgin.
You're not a Best Buy camper.
Yeah, no. I went to Walmart 5 miles out by
God,
Allentown.
it's crazy. Have you watched like those news broadcasts from when the Wii launched?
Yeah, bro.
It's like
what the f***? This is a Nintendo console?
It's like instead of it just being virgin losers camping out at Best Buy, everyone and their grandma was camping out at Best Buy. It was like
it really, in a weird way, united generations because it's like anyone could do it. It's not hard. It's not rocket science.
together we will hold our Wii for a Wii.
Yeah. No. You know what was really magical for me when I got the Switch? Searching up video tutorials that did not exist. I would be like, how to do this in Breath of the Wild, and it wouldn't be anything, but you'd see like a video with like 5 views on some kid explaining it, and I'd be like, thank you, Ghostmaster95.
It's like it's a lot like when you have like a super niche question and not even Reddit can answer
Yeah,
it for you.
or Quora.
It's like no one's had this problem before.
Yeah. God.
Except instead of having a precarious object shoved in places it shouldn't be, it's just your silly video game.
God, I remember when here's the most recent console I got that came out, the PS5.
It's not the same.
It's been the most disappointing console I think I've ever had because I bought it with so much because Astro's Playroom was
Astro's Playroom is really good.
such a good introduction. I beat that thing 5 times in a single day.
I wish it was a full game.
It should have. If I can beat it 5 times, bro.
Yeah, like it should have been a full game. It was really good.
It's so good, and I thought this is for everything to come, and this is Sony. We are releasing one exclusive per 2 years. It's like I get
and
it.
it's like, are you guys excited to play Bug Snacks?
Like the problem I have is like, they have less exclusives on the PS5 than the Wii U. I'm not kidding. And the Wii U has nothing.
The Wii U had some pretty good stuff later in life, but by then no one cared.
Like
No one was buying it. It was the people that already had it.
And don't get me wrong, the games that they have, that first-party games for Sony that they have released, like God of War, Spider-Man.
They're good, but
It's just God of War and Spider-Man.
yeah. And then whatever, God, Microsoft right now.
Microsoft, like, I genuinely believe that like the Xbox Series X is probably one of their last consoles because they're just because here's the thing.
That or they're just gonna make like the next Xbox like a computer that hooks up to your TV.
Yeah, no, what I'm thinking is they're like it's like a streaming service. They've mastered it. You know what I'm saying? They've utterly mastered it, and I'm happy for them. However, it kind of killed the Xbox. Like their Xbox Pass or whatever, X Pass. I don't.
You can just play all of their games for free for $10 a month.
Yeah, it's
on your computer.
Now, however,
you don't need an Xbox.
Now, I think that was a really smart decision to a certain extent, but it killed the console.
But the thing is, like, Microsoft doesn't need the console, so they can afford to just do whatever the hell.
Oh
they
yeah,
want.
and that's why I was
Sony still needs the PlayStation. They have a lot of other stuff going on, but PlayStation is like one of
it's their bread and butter.
It's their main
revenue
now.
Yeah, and I think there was like after everyone realized Microsoft was kind of like they were kind of not going under, but like how about this the Xbox was going under while
Xbox time is kind of come and gone.
But you want to hear something really interesting? Microsoft and Nintendo are now talking about like deals and like that. I read that on Twitter. Could be wrong.
I don't want that to be true.
But if it is the case, Sony has to like put on their big boy pants because
if that happened, Microsoft has been getting kind of a Disney complex.
What does that mean?
They're just buying up every third party, and it's upsetting to me because.
Rare.
Oh, shut up.
That is the biggest tragedy.
This is a tragedy of our time.
Yeah.
It's like 2001, the towers fell. 2002, Microsoft buys Rareware.
No, the third. It was like watching a third
tower.
It was like watching the third tower fall.
My 9/11.
My 9/11 was Rareware getting bought out by Microsoft. Did you know that 9/11 changed a lot of video games like GTA 3? They were supposed to have a thing where you flew a plane into a building and jumped out before it hit the building, and in New York, or as they call Liberty City.
Liberty City.
And is it bad that I wish it stayed in? Imagine how.
What year did that come out?
That came out in 2002 or 3. But they had to like change a lot of the story because of 9/11. They're like,
they're like, what do we do now?
They're like,
God, we can't have them flying planes anymore.
Yeah, and here's the thing: in GTA 5, you always see people flying planes in the buildings, though it doesn't do anything because like the buildings are just like.
They're just big rectangles.
Yeah, indestructible rocks essentially. Now.
Can't make 9/11 in GTA.
You can in Fortnite. Future Hamlet, play a clip of the Twin Towers falling in Fortnite.
Fortnite is so strange to me.
Fortnite's like if it's like playing with all your toys in a sandbox.
We will come back later after these 5 messages.
After these short messages.
Hi, it's just me now. I killed Hamlet. He is rotting in my basement. So yeah, this is where we're at right now. Future Hamlet, if you're editing this, thank you. It is deeply appreciated. This is now my new best friend. I got a pen from the Elmwood Park Zoo. Take a look at it. Quite beautiful, I know. I've been staring at it for the past 5 minutes, thinking, wondering and pondering how I even got here. Just to realize it's just plastic. Another thing for our consumer minds to just, take. Shit happens, I guess. And then I also got this GSK pen with a GSK ball. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they stand for. But they're hiring. So if you need a job and you're in the Philadelphia metro area, go on down to GSK. They're hiring. For what? I don't know. This album is Flying Beagle by Himiko Kikuchi. It's funky jazz, and I personally really enjoy it. I like to listen to it when I'm trying to sleep. Let me turn it down. I like to listen to it when I'm trying to sleep because it just does that. That's what it does for me. It helps me sleep. It helps me relax. And yeah. I wonder if the fan is. I wonder if my thing is picking up the fan. I just farted. I will move the fan. The reason why this album, Flying Beagle that is, released in 1987, has caught so much traction as of late, is because of its infamous art cover, which is a beagle. A very happy looking beagle. Presumably, Himiko's beagle. It's a very cute dog. And this is one of the few albums I feel like you can properly judge by just its looks. Because it looks exactly how it sounds. And that is all. Thank you for allowing me to express myself right here, right now, as I wait for Hamlet to come back from the job fair. This has been Nick Bear, signing off. Alright, so explain to the audience what happened to me.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, Nicholas Bear has... Hold on, I'm just going to reposition my chair a little. Nicholas Bear has since passed away. However, we will be communicating with him from beyond the grave because we're not finished our podcast.
Kill me! Ah! Yeah, hi, I'm back.
What do you think a Microsoft Sega team-up would look like?
I think, bro, I think that would have actually helped Sega's first party problem, because they only really had Sonic and like maybe Kid Alex or Alex Kidd or whatever.
Well, no, okay, I disagree. Jet Set Radio was popping off. There's Shenmue. Monkey Ball came out soon after.
Balls.
Space Channel 5. And other things. They had properties on the Dreamcast.
Counterpoint, they would have had Halo. That would have made them the cool console.
I don't know if they actually would have had Halo.
Yeah, they would have.
Halo was supposed to be a PC game, but then changed to exclusive for Xbox because they were running low on cash.
That probably still would have happened. I don't see why it wouldn't happen. Think about it. Sega's like, ooh, new IP. And guess what? That would have been hip with the cool...
Halo.
Imagine Sony and Nintendo being seen as kids stuff and Sega and Microsoft being seen as cool kid stuff. That's crazy.
Do you think they still would have bought Rareware?
Yeah. No, actually, no. I don't think so. I think Nintendo or Sony, one of those two would have gotten a hold of it, and I think we probably would still have like...
Banjo-Kazooie for Sega Xbox.
That's just that. Don't say that. Don't say that. You made me uncomfortable. I might
Rise.
have to. Ooh, nuts and bolts.
Well, at least they let Rare make a game. I mean, they're making Sea of Thieves right now, which is at least a game. It's more than they've had them doing for like the last 20 years.
Microsoft disappoints me.
Yeah. And while Activision Blizzard wasn't exactly the best company, I still don't like it when people are bought out by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Because it's still a giant mega corporation.
Evil corporation.
Evil corporation.
Number 5. And you may be saying, why not number 347? Because they're all owned by like 3 companies.
This is true. Back to the Disney thing.
Back to Disney. I remember the Google Pixel? Is that what? No, not Pixel. That's
Google
the phone.
Stadia.
Stadia. That crashed and burned.
I actually feel really bad for it.
I
It feels
don't.
like the Google Stadia feels like a horribly abused little child to me. Like
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Google just like beat a kid for like a
yeah,
year.
you will work and you will like it. It's like, no.
It's like, please, I'm only running at 5 frames a second.
Yeah, nah, Stadia, I remember I saw so many commercials about it, but I knew it would never kick off. And Google had to have known that wasn't going to work.
They'll try anything. It's not like they're strapped for cash.
Yeah, and then, again, I really think Apple should go back in the mix.
I think they should. I think it kind of makes me sad that these days, the only one of the big three is a video game company.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how it used to be with Nintendo and Sony. I mean, Sega. And, like, back then. I mean, yeah, you know, there was the occasional like...
But Sega, Nintendo, and Atari, they were all video game. And then before that, you had a bunch of toy companies. But...
Stop doing the Golden Freddy pose, Nintendo. You're scaring the children.
It's like, please, I'm 134.
Did they make chess games?
I
know
don't
they started as a toy company, obviously.
Started as a card company, then went to a toy company, then went to a hotel company. Yeah.
Where was Nintendo during World War II? Were they kind of just like?
They were actually not doing well because gambling was banned and their main money source was card games.
That is funny.
So
imagine Nintendo failed. Like they did. Imagine they collapsed.
during World War II, Sega, on the other hand, was making slot machines for the military. What did they need them for? I don't know.
Thanks, Sega. You know, 99% of gamblers always leave.
We're doing our part.
Yeah.
Considering it was founded in Hawaii like a year before Pearl Harbor.
That actually kind of.
Yeah.
God, did you know for a time there was a term in politics called an Atari Democrat?
And what was an Atari Democrat?
Basically, someone who I don't know exactly, but correct me if I'm wrong, future Hamlet.
Can you scoot a little more in front? I just want to make sure that your head is in frame, because otherwise it's just going to be a shot of your body and the other shot of me going like.
Can you see me, future Hamlet? Can you see me?
I'm not getting up.
It'll
probably be fine.
Is it fine now? Yeah,
Probably.
probably is. So, anyways, an Atari Democrat was kind of like, do you know what a technocrat is? Someone who wants to like harness technology for power.
Ew.
One was Gary.
Lycantron.
Gary Hart. He was an Atari Democrat, and I think he was just like, we need to harness the power of the Atari. And it's like, all right, Gary, go back to Colorado.
No way. That's awesome. Like, what did they think it was gonna do? I'm going meep.
Can we talk about how the original internet, like, what was it called?
The ARPANET?
The ARPANET. Oh, that's such a cool name.
ARPANET, yeah.
I wonder.
Cool.
No, it never succeeded. But what if it did?
Well, it was for the government.
But what if what if the government was like, we can make it mainstream?
They did. It became the internet. Well, there was ARPANET.
I'm gonna this
and there
man.
was intranet, like intranet, but I don't remember.
ARPANET.
I don't remember which one was which.
God, we have had such crazy technological advances over the past like 100 years.
Yep.
All because
It's,
some Serbian dude shot Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Tee.
Sorry.
It's like Moore's law, you know.
Hmm?
The number of transistors in the computer doubles every year.
Trans sisters? Does Nintendo support trans people? They're a traditional Japanese company, but I don't...
This is a complicated question because in Japan, gay people are more taboo than trans people, but only trans women.
What?
Nintendo, I don't think that everyone at Nintendo is transphobic,
However,
but they're certainly
homophobic.
they're certainly not trans likers.
Yeah.
they certainly don't like trans people.
At least they're not like modern Republicans. You're like, kill them all! And it's like, okay, man. It's like, all right, MGT, calm down. Or
Yeah.
Lord Bobert.
So you think Apple should get involved?
Yes! I
I-
want to see them burn. They will get curb stomped.
They actually, so you know the Apple Arcade stuff. Yeah. They actually got like a really good Sonic game.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it called? Sonic.
It's Dream something. It's not Sonic Dreams Collection.
Bro, that wasn't it like the first like 3D Sonic game technically?
No, it wasn't real.
No, I'm thinking of something else. Never mind.
Do you remember what Sonic Dreams Collection was?
No.
It was.
Now look at me. I had a little crisis last year.
Yeah. But yeah, what do you think it would have taken to make the Virtual Boy good?
So I think when was it released?
1995.
They should have waited till 2000. 5 more years of development, 5 more years of newer technology. Plus, imagine if they got help from other companies, I don't know who was ever developing that shit.
Facebook.
Ah, yes, Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg developed the Virtual Boy.
Mark Zuckerberg like a 3-year-old baby.
But I think they should have done that, and I think if they released it 5 years later, after already being 10 years in development or some shit like that, it would have. I think, and plus better games, obviously.
Yeah.
God forbid Nintendo makes a good game, for the Virtual Boy. But I think they should have made better games on top
Made
of
it
that.
so that it wasn't you can't play this for more than 30 minutes or you'll have a seizure.
That
was a real warning on the side of the
Yeah.
box.
I almost got one.
That would be so cool. But the Genesis had a similar device
Yeah.
that you could hook it up to, and then there were only 3 games that worked with it, but it was in full color and it didn't kill you.
Yeah.
But
Why-
also,
why didn't-
Sega had an actual VR machine in their arcade at Disney in the 90s.
Mhm.
They had these. Obviously, it wasn't like today's VR. It was you sit in a giant chair and have to put a thing over your head.
Yeah,
but it was VR. And so there was technology to make it good, not in a handheld portable sort of way, though it's funny that they even tried to call it a portable.
Yeah, just imagine walking down the street. Hey, howdy do, neighbor, and
you just got
you got this fucking bulky ass thing on your howdy
and
do.
the little legs are sticking out, and you've got an extension cable coming in. You're like,
God.
Does anyone have 10 double A's?
So here's what I think they
I
should.
can't finish Mario Tennis.
I don't think they should have tried to make it portable. I think they should have made it a console, a full-fledged,
Yeah.
and just keep it at home. What they were trying to do was
those little legs are so stupid.
what they were trying to do was 20 years too early.
Do you think you're an N64 fan? Yes.
Of course, who doesn't? I grew up on that bitch.
Yeah. It should have had discs, right?
Yes, Nintendo was this close with the 64 DD. It's something, but they're like, never mind.
And meanwhile, every other console is we are a generation ahead of you, and they're like, people can pirate your games.
And Sony was like, okay.
Sony was like, okay, 120 million units sold.
Oh god, the 64. The 64 was so interesting because it wasn't out for long. It was
No.
out for 5 years.
But remember, in 2000 and for most of 2001, that was still the newest Nintendo console.
Yeah, and then they came out with the
The
GameCube.
game.
And you want to hear something? They should have just made bigger discs.
Yeah.
This is Nintendo when it comes to making good decisions. Guys, no.
And they were so close with the Wii.
And then the Wii, bro, and then
It was still a proprietary disc.
yeah, and then finally the Switch got it right, but it doesn't even have discs. But granted, it is better.
Yeah, it's better, but it still can't hold nearly as much. But can you imagine if it had discs? It would have looked like a PS Vita.
Oh, I love the PSP. PSP?
Or wait, no, the PSP.
Yeah, the PSP
sorry.
has f***ing aesthetic.
The PSP has vibe. It's got energy,
There you go.
and it's got pretty good games.
It does. My favorite thing, I don't know what it's called. It's called The Legend of something. But it's not Zelda, unfortunately. Of course, it was an RPG. It was I think it was the very first traditional RPG game I ever played, and I f***ing beat that. It is such a good game. Sorry, I'm so passionate. And then my brother took my PSP because I said I could let him use it, and he f***ing broke it.
He my f***ing PSP.
No, he dropped it.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sure Alex can you out a new one. He's got like
actually, speaking of PSPs, Liv, she might sell me hers.
Really?
She said, like, what do you want for it? And she's letting me choose the price. I want to give her something fair. I'm thinking about $50.
50 cents good. I was gonna say 50.
But I don't know I don't know the condition yet. I need to see the condition. If it's like in pristine condition, maybe 60.
I got scammed out of $50 for a 2DS that I never got. Anyway, I'm Hamlet Brewstar,
I'm Nick Bear.
and that's what we think about.
At night before bed.
For bed, we
All right, time to go to bed.
Thank you for coming. Now I'm gonna.
Eh, eh, eh.
Now I'm gonna go get a full night's rest.